It's October 30th, Saturday. I'm sitting here with this going on, and I'm thinking on the television, there's only two CEOs I've heard of. There's a Tesla guy who now I think he did something and moved to something called a SpaceX. His name's Elon Musk. And then there's a Jeff Bezos, whatever. It's a four-letter, whatever. As is Musk, four-letter key operative code name for figureheads. And only two CEOs exist on my television. I don't know who picked them. I noticed when I went up to Rite Aid today, which is like what used to be a five and dime store or Dollar General store or like whatever. Nobody has any idea. They call it a pharmacy on the outside, but even that word gets iffy. Used to be apothecary when it was unbranded, and we could rely on the Army and the Navy to take care of us and protect us. Haven't had that in my life frame. Alright, I mean, maybe from afar. I'm assuming they don't know what's going on around here, so whatever. On witness to the children from everywhere's crime going on and trying to protect myself in like a panic safe room. Because there's multi-tiers and levels from billionaire to like not a dollar to a bank account. I was noticing as I was walking Bell Boulevard, there was somebody with a cake, and she had volleyball, VOLLEYBALL, balloons. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, that's Bank of America's symbol, except it's inverted. For Bank of America, there's some, I think, blue on top and then two red striations, and probably indicative of we blew things up. Oops, once before. This is like our second go, but we got two angry sessions under our belts, so like, bear that in mind. So that happened on Symbolics in the neighborhood of no words, although it says Bank of America next to it. Now, in high school, I played basketball. Nope, that was junior high. I tried out for basketball, and they took me. Volleyball was high school. I played volleyball. I did cheerleading. And that was the extent of St. Dominic's sports. Basketball I tried in junior high school when I also did swimming. Don't ask me teammates' names. I'd have no idea. I was not very good at it. It was just learning something new and participating with whatever. That was it. So volleyball, I noticed. And I played soccer in elementary school, but again, nothing like crazy people play. Like that get all like excited about like the team and the game and some world that doesn't exist for me. Alright, so now let's think about this. Alright, so now going back to Bezos. So now in Spanish, I've been learning, I've been asking and reaching out to my handicap helpers. I'm handicapped at this point on language, so I ask, and I'm always curious. It's a respectful exchange between me and my angel valet. Te beso, BESO. I found that word, that kiap, buried inside of a song I used to like. Something K7, which I used to say K-Swiss, but it's not K-Swiss unless it's Whoopi Goldberg Swiss, but that's Swiss chard, and that gets confusing. Alright, right, so now, Beso goes with a Indian, a Hussein and Kisan campaign. So I stay out of that closet because that's the first four letters they say kiss in English. And I'm like, how did that get to be English if that's the man's last name? And you know what? I'm not going to ask too many questions. So now I have the image of a lion in like Baiza Nation, somewhere in the Kalahari, I believe, where the lion is going after just on the savannah on the plains of game reserve, and like somebody came to visit in a vehicle watching out for rhino so he doesn't tip you over. All right, so now just sitting there observing, Beso reminds me of, like, Bezos reminds me of Bezos, which is like where if you have the bull, Bull, on the savannah, like the oxen bull, the lions like to suffocate the bull with one last kiss. There's some tie in there with Jeff Bezos, the Blue Origin's crew, some last samurai mention of Japan, and Jason Peter Romer 1976 mention in some legend somewhere as a warning not to let this go in this direction necessarily at some level between the ground and the sky dome above. So that happened. I'd be Brunhilda in that storyline. Brunhilda. I'm Norwegian, like, but in the Amazon forest, lost by myself with maybe a machete, but I'm not quite sure how that storyline goes. For Hellenistic, and I'm Greek sometimes. It all sounds Greek to me at this point, if it's good. If not, then it might be the real incarnate version, which is not as pretty any longer and is really hard to negotiate out of with explaining it and going, no, I really got to get all your stories straight and in line because there's really serious climate change issues. So I've only ever seen two CEOs by facial recognition on the television, Elon Musk and Bezos. I don't have a story for Elon Musk. He's like a go-between the two versions of Ian I've run into in my life, both being very respectable, one being a Kingsman, of course, the other being a little boy who's the same age as my son, who's also a little boy at this point. In comparison, I'm age 43, they're age 9, so it's a 43 to 9 relation and ratio of chronologic. Of logging. Logocabina is what I feel like at the moment. I have to think about this. Oh, and then it goes Beso, Peso, Peso, and then Dinero. But then I go Robert De Niro, and there's some reference to peso in an octanaut, Octanaut, which was a cartoon I used to watch on Nick Jr., I think, or maybe it was Disney. I can't remember which one of the corporate echelons put that out for me so I could watch it with, that was transitioning Alexander the Great to Cat Scratch, which is Anthony the Third. There's 6 years in between the two of them, between the Great's arrival and the first Immaculate's arrival, and then the short and long-term civilization calendar ending at the year of Anthony the Third. That's somewhere in the equinox and celestial and calibration of things with environmental tuning. So nobody gets upset why I don't know presidents' names or dignitaries or prime ministers or other corporate whatever. I worked at a company, this is how bad it is where I am or where I've been. I worked at a company, big one, called Chase, Chase, big bank, hear they're international. They are local here as well. I was nobody special in the bank. I was just La Femme Nikita. I had my Italian-looking boots on, long, respectable skirt below the knee, pencil length, and then a shirt, which I had a belt that I waisted the button-down shirt, so I had my own flair to it in respectable things in the lobby of the bank. So that happened where I greeted the customers in the local area, made very little money, couldn't even afford my mortgage on that money. That was around the Obama administration. All my tax documents are on file with Bank of America, the volleyball invert. But I was working at Chase at the time, just so the two banks are on the same page. Let's think about this. So I was working. Oh, so Jamie Dimon, I found out, Diamond in the Rough, is the CEO of Chase. No idea what that means in actuality. Never seen the man. He was not like a poster child for the bank. His name was known, not my entire career, but somebody made it a point to let me know it's important to know the CEO's name because I had no idea. At the level of small, non-essential equipment business operators I've been around, I mean, he's a CEO. That's like important stuff. But I'd have, if he walked into the bank one day to make a deposit, I'd have no idea. I mean, like, where would you even research these people? Let's think about this. So that happened. They don't put them on TV, and they don't promote them at the bank level that I was at. I mean, there was different strings of operation all in operating at the same time at Chase. It's very big and has a lot of employees and so on and so forth. But that's my first experience with hockey. But not by a Wayne Gretzky looking family member. It was a different family member entirely, but he was a gentleman the entire night and took me out to an exotic food assortment, a palette of restaurant that I've never, I believe maybe it was Moroccan or something Mediterranean, but that I had never been to because I wouldn't even know how or what to order. But that was taking me outside of my comfort zone. And Bob was there. Bob's more Wayne Gretzky like, for Eyewitness and whatever. And so that happened, which I thought was really, really nice, and I appreciated the evening. I have to think about this. And that's all there is on that air of phonical, like, and language. It's BESO, which means kiss. It's PESO, which means some kind of coin. And then DENIERO, which means many coins or a sum of coins equaling a greater sum that's whatever. That it becomes a system of sums. For that set of prowess, while I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I got an Elon Musk and a Jeff Bezos. Oh, and I went into the Rite Aid pharmacy store, and there was some kind. It looked like a wall of lockers. It was just. It looked like something IKEA would put together. Honestly, it was unmarked. It said something about Ricardo, Riccardo. It had some kind of screen And then it had these like weird blocks, and I'm like, oh god. I was like, Anthony, come on, we gotta go. I was like, I'm not even stopping to look to see what kind of crap they concocted and put out in the public. And we did. We went to the counter, and that's all on surveillance camera. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza.